always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jessica, and I'll be sharing some of the top entertainment news that you just need to know right now at this very moment. It is a beautiful day here in Philadelphia. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. I've been up for a while trying to consume as much TikTok content as I possibly can. Rumor on the street is that the president plans to ban the app. Again, he's made the threat before, but here we are again. Am I annoyed and devastated? Of course, but I'm not going to lie. The app has consumed so many hours of my life. It'll be kind of nice to get those hours back. You know what I mean? And I think my husband would probably appreciate that as well. But I'm just so addicted to it and I just love it. And I don't post content on it, but I love consuming. I love seeing the creativity that everyone else has, and it makes me laugh. I love the humor side of TikTok. Sometimes I like the cooking side of TikTok. I love it. I love it. I love it. So hopefully this is all just an empty threat, but whatever, who knows? I got my content in this morning. And speaking of hours and time and being lost, I also can't believe that it's already August. Back in March, August seemed so far away, but now, boop, here we are. It's unbelievable. I don't even feel like summer has even happened or that we're even in summer. I mean, March, April, and even May, it was cloudy and rainy and we were stuck indoors, and then June and July hit and I'm still indoors. We're not really going out that much. We're not going out to eat. We're not going to restaurants. We did go to the beach once, so that's great. But yeah, we're still trying to make the best of it. Again, can't believe it's August. It's going to be, Halloween before we know it, and Thanksgiving, and I can't believe it. Anyway, the year is flying by, I guess. Thank goodness. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out to my Nana. She turns 90 years old this weekend, and we're going to see her and celebrate responsibly, of course. She came to this country after World War II from southern Italy. She has had one child, my mama, and she's just really the mainstay of our family. I grew up with her. My family built our house on her property. Nana's always right next door. So happy birthday, Nana. I hope you enjoy your big day, and I cannot wait to see you. We're going to have so much fun. I mean, as much fun as we can have. And other than that, there's not really much going on. I am a little devastated. I have this tomato plant that I have put my soul into the past few months. I know I'm rambling, but this is how I'm feeling this morning. I probably had a little too much coffee. But anyway, there is this tomato plant that I've had, and I've been talking to it, and I've been loving it. And I went and I picked some tomatoes, and one started to rot already on the vine, and the other one just weren't good. And I'm heartbroken. I'm really upset. I have been looking forward to this moment with these tomatoes for months, and it's what has gotten me through 2020. And it's just nothing but a disappointment so far. Hopefully maybe the next few that I pick will turn out better. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll look into it and maybe better luck next year. So that is all of the big news that I have for you, what's going on in my life. I know it's like really, really exciting, but you know what actually is exciting is the stories that I have for you today. They're a bit all over the place. Oddly, it's been both busy and slow in the entertainment world. Basically, the same stories just keep dominating. I have an Ellen update. This is the story that just won't quit. I almost wonder if we weren't in lockdown or this crisis, there wouldn't be as much of a media frenzy and attention that this story is really getting. Maybe Ellen is just really, really unlucky. We also have some music news. We have the MTV VMA nominations, as well as new music from Beyonce and Brandy. And I have a huge Bachelorette update. I mean, if you want to talk about the most dramatic season ever, I think we are about to get it. Chris Harrison has been teasing the most dramatic season for almost 20 years, and I think this is it. I think this will really be it. So this is some big news. I'm not considering this a spoiler. I want to make that very clear. I don't believe this is a spoiler. We're not talking about a winner or anything. So stay tuned for that. I've also sprinkled in some news about Bryan Cranston, Kendall Jenner, and Tyga because, why not? I mean, they're in the news. Let's talk about them. So you're not going to want to miss this episode, and stay tuned until the very end. I will be ranking the definitive hot or not ranking of 90s heartthrobs. I hope this turns out to be funny. I think it will, because this list is absolutely insane. So without further ado, let's just jump right on in. Let's just talk about Ellen right off the bat, get it out of the way. I hope this is the last time we really have to talk about her, but at this rate, who knows? I feel like every hour there is more to this story. So we all know what Ellen DeGeneres has been accused of, and basically it boils down to her just being mean. And that's putting it rather mildly. Warner Media conducted an investigation on the allegations made against the talk show host, and since then, Ellen has penned a letter to her staff. This is big, so she finally addressed it. I know last episode we talked about how she's been silent. Well, Ellen has spoken. So I'm just going to read off a little bit of what she has said. I'm also learning that people who work with me and for me are speaking on my behalf and misrepresenting who I am, and that has to stop. As someone who was judged and nearly lost everything for just being who I am, I truly understand and have deep compassion for those being looked at differently or treated unfairly, not equal, or worse, disregarded. To think that any one of you felt that way is awful to me. It's been way too long, but we're finally having conversations about fairness and justice. We all have to be more mindful about the way our words and actions affect others, and I'm glad the issues at our show were brought to my attention. I promise to do my part in continuing to push myself and everyone around me to learn and grow. I am so proud of the work we do and the fun and joy we all help to put out in the world. I want everyone at home to love our show, and I want everyone who makes it to love working on it. Again, I am sorry to anyone who didn't have that experience. If not for COVID, I'd have done this in person, and I can't wait to be back on our stage and see you all then. Stay safe and healthy. Love, Ellen. Wow, that was a very by-the-book response, and one would think that it would just end there. But no. Oh, no. That would be far too simple. Not only are more allegations from staff members surfacing, but other celebrities are even coming out of the woodwork with stories of their own. For instance, Everybody Loves Raymond actor Brad Garrett claims that the mistreatment by DeGeneres is common knowledge. The actor took to Twitter and even tagged her, saying, "Sorry, but it comes from the top, Ellen. I know more than one who were treated horribly by her. It's common knowledge." Oh my goodness, that is so brutal. Like when your peers really start coming after you, like your celebrity peers, that is just wild. So everyone take a little breather, take a breath. We think this is it, but no, there is more, because this is the story that just keeps going. So now Ellen is reportedly wanting out of her talk show. I mean, how can she go on stage with a stain this big, with plenty of celebrities have been reported that she has this big ego, and these types of allegations are just so loud. Like, so even even if Ellen wants out of her show, then now who's going to replace her? I mean, there's so many questions and so many things up in the air. I honestly don't know who would replace her. I mean, I'll always have a flame for Oprah. I mean, I know she's not coming back to daytime television. But I think a lot of shows try to be her, but it never works out for them. And that's okay because we all can't be Oprah. So this is crazy. It's like every time I open the computer, there is just another story. Every time I open Instagram, there's another story. This is the story that won't die. I really hope this story will end soon. Ellen wants out. Will she get out? It's unreal. So I kind of feel like with the slower news cycles, like celebrity news cycles, that is, really push this story to the top. There have always been murmurings about Ellen not being nice for quite some time, and this story has just exploded in the last few months, and it's a shame, really. I think Ellen really had the chance and the opportunity to be nice, and at the end of the day, she chose not to. She built her whole brand on love and kindness and dancing and good vibes. But this is ultimately what happens when you're just not your authentic self. Do I think that she deserves to have her show and her career, quote, canceled because she's a meanie? I mean, I don't think so. But again, the damage is far too great, and I think she addressed it far too late. If she would have addressed this back when the Twitter thread went viral months and months ago, I do think that this all could have been avoided, but she was just too proud and it came off like she didn't care and that she was untouchable. And here we are in this mess today. So sorry, Ellen, look at your life, look at your choices. I mean, the letter was very professional, and I think PR did a good job of hitting all the right notes and all the struggles that you went through. But at the end of the day, if you're not a good person and if you don't treat others with respect, you cannot accept them to treat you with respect back. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can close the door on the Ellen chapter soon. And real quick, while I am thinking about it, Naya Rivera and Regis Philbin have both been laid to rest. Naya Rivera was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles following a private ceremony on July 8th. Naya Rivera disappeared from a boat she rented with her 4-year-old son Josie at Ventura County's Lake Piru. Her death certificate has the cause of death being accidental drowning. Her ex-husband and father to her 4-year-old son states, "This is so unfair. There's not enough words to express the hole left in everyone's heart. I can't believe this is life now. I don't know if I'll ever believe it." And we share that same sentiment. It truly is heartbreaking. Also, Regis Philbin was also laid to rest at his beloved alma mater, Notre Dame, following a private ceremony on Wednesday. According to People magazine, Philbin graduated from Notre Dame in 1953 with a sociology degree. He stayed involved with the school over the years, donating $2.75 million to the university in 2001 to create the Philbin Studio Theater, a performance art venue on campus. He was also a Notre Dame sports superfan. So I just wanted to close the door on that. They will be missed. So after the break, we're going to come back. I am going to talk a little bit about some music news as well as some piping hot bachelorette tea. And at the end, I will be rating a list of 90s teenage heartthrobs. So I'm really, really excited about that. So please stay tuned and we will be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back, friends. I hope we all cleared our mind from the Ellen drama, that we just have so much more to discuss. Right now, let's talk about music. Music. There's so much going on in the music world right now. Yay, musical content. And honestly, I am going to touch base on some of these, but check out the GSMC Music Podcast if you are looking for more detailed information. But real fast, let's just jump in and start with the MTV VMA nominations. Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande lead the pack with 9 nominations each. In addition to receiving those 9 nominations, Grande and Gaga are also nominated together in several categories for their collaboration on the hit song Rain on Me. Billie Eilish and The Weeknd are close behind with 6 nominations, with Taylor Swift is up for 5 awards. Now, it's funny, I was thinking about this when I saw the headline for the MTV VMAs, and it's funny because I was thinking, and this is probably my age showing a little bit here, but does the Moon Man hold as much weight now as it did like back in the days of, say, TRL? For those of you who are listening that don't know what TRL is, I'm also a little sad because you missed out on something phenomenal. TRL, or Total Request Live, was the show to watch after school. So while Mom would watch Oprah, we'd be watching Carson Daly break down the 10 most requested music videos of the day that were voted by viewers calling in or going online. MTV at the time lived for the music videos. Right now, I don't even think they have music videos on MTV. It's whatever. Music videos were so important, and there was even a show called Making the Video. This was a 30-minute program, and it would take viewers behind the scenes to see how a music video would be made. You would see it from like pre-production to concept creation, and then like lighthearted moments on set. And it was really fun and interesting to see how a music video gets made. I think, and then at the end, at the end would be the premiere of the video. So there would be all of this build up, and then you would finally get the music video for your favorite song. I think my favorite, I had to think about this, and this is just because I was a fangirl, but it was probably the episode with NSYNC when they released It's Gonna Be Me. Oh my goodness. It was, directed by Wayne Isham. Yeah, it's crazy. That video used very limited CGI, which is almost unheard of these days, I feel. Because I remember the director saying he wanted it to feel authentic, and the whole theme of the video was NSYNC. They were going off of like the puppet theme of the album and Bye Bye Bye. And everything was built to scale. And essentially, the men of NSYNC were these puppets being sold at a toy store. So again, everything built to scale. It was really cool. It created this very weird but authentic vibe for the video. It was really good. But now, again, there was like this anticipation of the music video, right? Where now it just like an artist just releases it on YouTube, and then it just lives on YouTube forever. There's no real build up, I feel, for the most part. We'll get into that next. But before, it was just so culturally ingrained how big music videos are. So that's what I'm talking about, like with the VMAs. Like, do these music videos really hold as much value and stock as they did back then? But talking about the weight of a music video, Beyonce released her visual album for Black is King, and now that is a music video. I feel like that is what music videos should have or could have evolved into, but no one can do it quite like the Queen herself. This is like, you can easily do a full hour on just this. I mean, I would have to have time to really like sit and digest and break it down and watch it over and over and over and over. It's just so visually stunning. It is absolutely incredible. And it really is a spectacular piece of art. And so we also have to acknowledge that Beyonce directed and executive produced this. Black is King is available exclusively on Disney Plus, which seems to be pumping out a lot of content right now. So yay them. The album/cinematic experience is based on Beyonce's soundtrack, The Lion King, The Gift, which was the 2019 Disney remake of the film. And it's a movie for today's young kings and queens in search of their own crowns, Disney Plus said in a release. And it's a, quote, celebratory memoir for the world on the Black experience. Notable guests in this beautiful cinematic experience is Naomi Campbell, Lupita Nyong'o, and Kelly Rowland. They all make appearances, as well as Blue Ivy, who arguably just steals the spotlight. I mean, this little girl knows how to own every single scene she is in, and how can she not with parents like Beyonce and Jay-Z? The entire production is just beyond sickeningly stunning. It's something you can sit, like I said, and watch over and over. I highly recommend it. If you are one of the 3 people on the planet that don't like Beyonce, this will absolutely make you a believer. I promise. But in more music news, we have Brandy. Haven't heard that name in a while. Brandy has released her first album in 8 years. Her last album, 211, was released in 2012. Now her new album, B7, is here. And you guys, I'm so excited about this. This is like millennial nostalgia, but rather than just rehashing what's already done, we are given something new, but it carries that nostalgic name, Brandy. Oh my goodness. This is a true gift. I'm so thrilled that we're finally getting this new content, you guys. And it's a huge week for Brandy because her 90s sitcom Moesha is now streaming on Netflix. Like, now that is true millennial nostalgia. And I'm just sitting here waiting. Again, Disney Plus, you've been doing a lot of good stuff. You gave us this, you gave us Beyonce, you gave us Hamilton, and now I'm just waiting for you to add Cinderella to your streaming library. Please, please add it. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, in 1997, this TV musical called Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella premiered to 60 million viewers, establishing itself at the time as the most watched television musical in decades. I remember commercials for this. I remember sitting on the floor in the living room. I can remember the feel of the carpet underneath me, and we all sat around the living room on a Sunday night with my parents, my brother, and we watched Cinderella, and Brandy played Cinderella. Whitney Houston was the fairy godmother. Whoopi Goldberg was the queen. Victor Garber, also known to me as Mr. Andrews from Titanic, was the king. Bernadette Peters as a stepmother. I mean, Jason Alexander was in it. It was so, so, so wonderful. The prince, Paolo Montalban, I believe his name is. I'm pretty positive. He was in it. It was just inclusivity at its absolute finest. I will post a picture of the cast on our Instagram and Twitter accounts so you can see. It was groundbreaking. It was wonderful. Anyway, Cinderella needs to be streaming because it's absolute perfection. The cast, the music, the costumes, it's just pure nostalgia. Love it. And we're going to switch gears really quick. We're going to touch on Taylor Swift. She has had a great week with the surprise album Folklore. But right now, Taylor Swift is rebranding her album merch after a Black-owned business accused her team of ripping off its design. Amir Rasul, founder of the online retailer The Folklore, has accused the pop star last week of selling merchandise that ripped off the logo of her company, which sells apparel and accessories and other products by designers in Africa. Amir took to Instagram to claim, based on the similarities of the design, I believe the designer of the merch ripped off my company's logo. I'm sharing my story to bring light to the trend of large companies and celebrities copying the work of small minority-owned business owners, and I'm not going to let this blatant theft go unchecked. Now, Taylor and her team were super quick to suspend the selling of her merchandise, and on the website and they changed the design. I think that Taylor and her team blatantly ripped off Amira's design? No. Do I think the design trope is rather common and they would have benefited from doing a little bit more research? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll post the pictures on Instagram so you can see at the end of the day. Like I said, both designs are similar. It uses like a very like trendy, I guess, design trope. So I don't think that there was any ill will. But Taylor and her team, just no questions asked. They're like, you are right. We are going to fix this. So that's really good. Happy for Taylor. This is why she is the queen. Amira commented that she commends Taylor's team for recognizing the damage the merchandise caused to the company at the Folklores brand. And I recognize that she has been a strong advocate for women protecting their creative rights. So it was good to see her team is on the same page. I mean, Taylor, we stand. We love her. She is always setting a really good example. So again, I will post these pictures online and you be the judge. So that's really it for the music news right now. Again, you can always check out more news with Keith at the GSMC Music Podcast. Check him out. He's wonderful. When we come back, I have some big news, you guys, some hot Bachelorette tea. This is a fast-moving story, and I must report on it. If you're a fan of the franchise, you won't want to miss this. And then later, I'm going to just rank some people on this list of 90s heartthrobs. So I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Okay, friends, welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. We have talked Ellen, Beyonce, Brandy, and now it is time to switch gears and talk reality television. I am talking about one of the most talked about shows in reality TV. Love it or hate it, you know you've talked about it, The Bachelorette. I have some Bachelorette spoilers here. So this is it right now. This is your warning. If you want to stay spoiler free, I suggest you fast forward a few minutes. Let us chat. We're going to have a great time. So go ahead. Okay. So is it just us now? All right. Now that it's just us crazies, let's chat. Let's have a heart to heart. Let me ask you, is Claire Crawley already engaged? Guys, I know this is so wild. I have been a fan of the show for a long time. Like, Andrew Firestone is my favorite Bachelor long time. You know what I mean? Like, I watched Claire tell off Juan Pablo in real time. I have never, ever heard of rumors quite like this. So, you know, Claire's season of The Bachelor has already been incredibly dramatic. Production had to be postponed due to the global pandemic. Production actually just recently started at La Quinta Resort and Club in La Quinta, California. So, spoiler, I'm not sure how much it matters, but spoiler. The first impression rose went to, and now remember, whoever gets the first impression rose historically is the winner. Okay, so the first impression rose went to Dale Moss. Now, rumor has it, Claire is ready to quit the show. Bye-bye, girl is done. It's only been filming for 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. So how is this even possible? Okay, so the season started filming July 19th, and this is after the cast and crew were already in quarantine for 2 weeks before. They're taking this very seriously. It's a huge big deal that the show is being able to be filmed right now. I mean, it's really great how they're doing it. From what I hear, and I don't know 100% if this is true, but what I am hearing is that cast and crew are being tested, I think, every 3 days. Again, that's just a rumor that I heard, but it's interesting if that is what they're doing. So anyway, she's only been filming for 2 weeks, so she has still plenty of show to go. Now, of course, she's under contract, right? So she can't quit, although that would be the most dramatic season ever, way more dramatic than Colton's season. But I'm starting to think that they have come to some kind of an agreement, whether it's amicable or not. I mean, that's a whole different story. Maybe she decided to just quit and they're okay with it, or maybe she was fired. So let's unpack this one piece at a time. So number one, Claire's men were first announced back in March before everything shut down. The list was out there on the internet for the whole world to see. And then all of a sudden, the world shut down and filming for the season had to be postponed. That gave Claire plenty of time to Google these men, and you know she did. And although many of the men didn't make the final cut when production got pushed back, it could be for many reasons. It could be scheduling conflict for the men, but not all the men in this original, blast of men who were going to be on the show came back. But who did come back was Dale. That's right. Dale was on the original list. Now, Claire was very active on social media during the shutdown. She even started to call out men for, quote, not being there for the right reasons. Some of these men started Cameo accounts, and she said, well, if you're starting these Cameo accounts, then you're obviously in it for the fame, because we all know how much fame you get being on these shows, and you're not actually in it for me. So what I think happened is I think that Claire and Dale started chatting months ago. So really, this isn't a 2-week relationship, right? They could have been talking since March for all we know. So this could February, March, right? March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. Then plenty of time to fall in love. So now let's say they've been talking. He stays committed to the show. He goes on. He and Claire have already been chatting. He gets the first impression rose. Maybe he even gets the first one-on-one date. Now Claire doesn't want to film anymore. Imagine, if you will, she no longer wants to date or pretend to be with these other men. Allegedly, she is even refusing to continue filming and is remaining locked in her hotel room. Like, she's done. Girl is out of it. She wants it to end. So now, number 2, last weekend, producers reached out to backup Bachelorette contestants who had been vetted for Claire's season but were ultimately not cast to film at La Quinta. So what they'll do is for this season, for example, they'll bring a bunch of men out, quarantine, get ready, and then right before, usually you would get in the limo, right before you get into the limo, they can make cuts. Say they'll cut like 5 people, for example. I'm not sure exactly how many cuts they made here at the last minute, but so producers are reaching back out. So when producers reach back out of the blue, it's very apparent that something had happened with production. So what could this something be? Well, again, this is a spoiler-ish, but apparently Claire is out. Tayshia Adams is in. Rumors of this replacement have been swirling around Reddit and fan Facebook groups. Notorious spoiler Reality Steve has yet to 100% confirm at the time of this recording, but can say that after hours of digging that he does think there's some validity to the rumor. After a recent go against Bachelor alum Nick Viall, Reality Steve is making sure to dot all of his I's and cross all of his T's before leaking all of this officially to the public. Now, Tayshia Adams, who we met Tayshia on Colton's season. Ugh, Colton. Oh, poor thing. She totally deserves another chance. Tayshia was a fan favorite on the season and then later appeared on Bachelor in Paradise, where she had a connection with JPJ, or John Paul Jones, from Hannah Brown's season. So although the two didn't end up engaged because, she's realistic, they did continue their relationship off the beach, but ultimately it didn't work out. Amidst all of these rumors, Tayshia did post to her Instagram on Friday. She posted a silhouette of herself. Now, it's totally possible that production is allowing her to post on her Instagram to kind of throw things off and to keep fans guessing. I think Tayshia would be an amazing bachelorette. If all of this is true, which I think it is, it will be, as Chris Harrison says, the most dramatic season ever. I'm really curious to see how production decides to spin all of this. Will we have a week or two of watching Claire like a normal season? Will it be like a 2-night event where night 1 is like a normal episode and then night 2, everything kind of goes crazy? Will they brief the audience with what happened? Will it be the first hour is normal and then it gets crazy? I'm really, really, really curious. The editors have a lot to work with, so I'm so excited to see how the editing will go down. So I also wonder, is Claire going to be shunned by Bachelor Nation, right? Like, will she do the media rounds? Will she be embraced by causing so much chaos that could result in high ratings? I remember when Caitlin Bristow accidentally spoiled her season. I mean, she was in a lot of trouble for that. I mean, it's a little different because she spoiled the ending of the show. Claire's not even finishing the show, and we're getting we might be getting a new Bachelorette. So I'm really excited to see how all of this is going to go down and play out moving forward. So there's that. Okay. And so now just some more quick news in Bachelor Nation. Former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay has some choice words for her fellow Bachelorette Becca Kufrin's fiance, Garrett. This whole story makes me so, so sad. So Rachel Lindsay and Becca Kufrin, not only are they both former bachelorettes that found love on the show, but they also host a podcast together, and they're very good friends. A frustrated Lindsay lamented about Garrett, quote, "We had a podcast about diversity and what was going on in the country." And her fiance posted a Blue Lives Matter picture and with his whole chest gave a long explanation as to why he felt that way. So I got on the podcast saying it was problematic and what he meant to me, and we both got emotional. And it was just like, I'm tired of everyone. I'm tired that everyone woke up in 2020 and realized that racism exists. It's been happening. She said some more choice words that I just won't repeat on this podcast, but you're more than welcome to go online. You will find them. During Becca and Rachel's initial podcast about race, Becca made it clear that her views didn't line up with Garrett's opinions, but she also kind of defended him, right? Like, you want to stick up for your friend and what's right, but then also he's, your fiance and you want to stick up for them too. So I understand that initial response. The following week, Becca apologized to Rachel. When Rachel asked where their relationship stands, Becca and Garrett, Becca simply said, "I don't know." So since then, the two have not been seen together or posted anything about each other on social media. They may have commented on each other's posts, but there has been no post for the past, I think, 2 months of the two of them together, which makes me wonder if their relationship has come to an end because of this. Most notably, Becca was absent from a wedding where Garrett was a groomsman. So this always makes me a little sad when these relationships don't actually work out. Like I said, I am a huge fan of the franchise. Not only do I love drama, but I do get invested very much into their stories. So, oh man, that's all that I have on Bachelor/Bachelorette news. Other than this, I will not be reporting on any spoilers like who chooses who or how these group dates went or who got the group date rose or who got the 2-on-1. So I'm not going to spoil anything like that. But getting a new lead, that's a big deal. So I don't really consider that spoiling. We're pressing the reset button on that one. So moving forward, no spoilers, I promise. So when we come back, I have some news about Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake. We're going to talk Tyga, Kendall Jenner, and even Bryan Cranston. And then at the very end, I'm going to rank of a list that I am given my top 90s teenage heartthrobs. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be kind of funny. I took a peek at this list. It's a little wild. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is the podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
It's been another jam-packed episode for you guys, but there is still more. We are rounding out with some happy baby news. Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake welcome the new bundle of joy into the world. And yep, that's it. That's that story. There are no more facts right now. There's no name, no when the child was born. We just know this from Brian McKnight. I mean, who saw that coming? Jessica, Justin, and their son Silas have been spending their time in Montana. The pandemic really helped keep this pregnancy a secret. So lucky for her. She was able to hide her pregnancy, keep it private, which I'm sure they loved. And now they get to spend their time soaking in this time together as a family of 4 without any distractions of having to work because, you know, pandemic. So congratulations to them. Also, we have a little Kendall Jenner news. This is just kind of fun. I just love home stuff. So Kendall Jenner has graced us with the cover of Architectural Digest. What caught my eye on the cover, and as I'm sure it did most people, is this like pink glow orb type of thing. It's actually a wall sculpture, which is this animating, shifting, computer programmed LED lights, and it's by artist James Turrell. So when I saw the cover, I'm like, what is this orb? And it's art in her house and it lights up, and she wanted it to be the focal point, and it does its job. I will say, going through the issue, her house is much more homier than many of her famous sisters. It has a lot of lush carpeting, cozy couches, a really rustic dining area. I am really a big fan of her kitchen. I am loving this Benjamin Moore teal cabinets, which is very different than what people have been doing with white on white. She has the marble countertops and the backsplash. And instead of doing white cabinets, she opted for teal, which I think gives it a lot of character and a lot of personality. That's definitely up my alley. Her one bathroom also is just spectacular. It gives me so much bathroom envy. I'll share a picture of it on Instagram. I do like a very nice, clean spa-like bathroom. It's always very refreshing and very zen-like, but what she's done with this green mosaic tile and marble sink and these copper sconces, I mean, I absolutely love it. It feels to me very like Italian Riviera, just definitely my speed. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of changes in design coming. So I am looking forward to that. And my poor husband will probably have to take the credit card from me because I will just want to completely redesign the house. So there's that. Next, we're going to touch on Bryan Cranston real fast. He reveals that he had coronavirus. The Breaking Bad actor shared a video of himself donating his antibody positive plasma for research and encouraging people to wear a mask. Cranston says he's lucky to have mild symptoms, which included a slight headache, tightness of the chest, and loss of taste and smell. Oh God, if that's mild. Oh, the actor noted about how you're probably feeling a little down, restricting your mobility, and like me, you're tired of this. Well, I just want to encourage you to have a little bit more patience. I was pretty strict in adhering to the protocols and still contracted the virus. This is a very good PSA. Thank you, Bryan Cranston. And that was my dog barking in the background. That was little Wilson, if you heard him. He wants to be on the podcast too. So, happy that Mr. Cranston is doing well. I hear he's a really nice guy. He seems like a cool dude, and I appreciate the example that he is setting. So, yay, Bryan Cranston. Lastly, and I have to touch on this, as someone who worked for the company, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this story, but rapper Tyga launches a chicken nugget virtual restaurant chain. I am so obsessed with this story. I cannot stop reading about it. I think I've read every outlet about this. I don't know why it's captured my attention so much. So that's why I'm telling you guys. But Tyga has partnered with restaurateur Robert Earl and celebrity chef Eric Greenspan, and they have launched together Tyga Bites. Tyga Bites are antibiotic-free, oven-baked, boneless chicken bites, which are only available through Grubhub. So there's no brick or mortar store that will say Tyga Bites on the top. This is a virtual kitchen. So Robert Earl is using his existing restaurants to cook and prepare the food, and then Grubhub drivers will pick it up and deliver it to you. Robert Earl and Earl Enterprises owns chains such as Planet Hollywood, Buca di Beppo, Bertucci's, Chicken Guy, and more. So essentially what happens is, say, for example, Buca di Beppo is pumping out pasta bowls for people in the dining room in their restaurants, but then they're also sending out Tyga Bites and Tyga Tots to online Grubhub orders. So that's kind of how it works. So if you're in a Buca di Beppo or Planet Hollywood or Bertucci's or Chicken Guy, I don't know which exactly restaurants are participating. That's where this food is actually coming from. So I'm not going to lie, I'm definitely going to be trying this. I am a dipper when it comes to fries and chicken tenders. Like, give me all of the sauces. The list that Tyga has given us actually sounds really scrumptious. So they include spicy honey, Korean barbecue, bourbon, mango habanero, which is the one that I really want, General Tso, tamarind chipotle, orange, Caribbean, homestyle ranch, chunky blue cheese, garlic parm, and buffalo. I mean, Tyga has good taste. See? Did you see what I did there? Yep. Tyga, good taste. It was a reference to a Tyga song. So anyway, that's kind of it on the entertainment news for right now. So let's move on to, again, one of my favorite segments of the show, this wild card segment, where I just kind of have fun. So I got lost at looking at BuzzFeed lists, which according to TikTok Gen Zers is a very millennial thing to do. And I came across this list of the definitive hot or not ranking of 90s heartthrobs. So I'm going to go through the hot side of the list. I'm not going to do the not part. The tagline for this article is featuring everyone you ever crushed on ever. Ever, huh? All right. I will be the judge of that. So let me know on Instagram or Twitter if you agree with me or not. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to go through this list and then I'm going to give you my top 5 ranking based on the list. So here we go. They have number 1, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. My God, yes, JTT. He was the quintessential, 90s boy, the dirty blonde hair, that, bowl cut. I mean, I think everyone kind of knew someone who looked like him, but JTT was special. He's baby Simba. Love JTT. Number 2, they have Luke Perry. Rest in peace, Luke. I think I was a little too young for the Luke Perry heartthrob phase. But he was a very handsome man. Number 3, Bill Pullman. What? The president of Independence Day? Who put him on the list? I mean, he's not ugly. He's handsome, but definitely not a heartthrob. Oh, number 4, Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, this is my, spoiler alert, this is probably number 1 of this list. This man is my personal number 1 90s heartthrob for sure. Romeo and Juliet, he was bad boy hot. And then Titanic, he was man, you want to marry hot. I mean, I pretty much, I think every other girl loved Leonardo DiCaprio as a teenager, and I will forever have a flame for that man. Usher, accurate, hot, yes. Mark Wahlberg, at the time, no. And as an adult, yes. But at the time, I can't say that I had a poster of him hanging up in my room. 7, Dave Coulier? What? BuzzFeed, why is this a thing? No. Who had a poster of Dave Coulier in their bedroom? No, Uncle Jesse, maybe. But no. If Uncle Jesse is not on this list, then I will riot no to 7. 8 is Dodger from the dog from Oliver and Company. I don't know who made this list. No. Number 9, Ethan Embry. Wait, what happened to him? I like Loki. He was my favorite in That Thing You Do. I wish Tom Hanks gave him some more screen time. Oh, yeah, he would totally make you a mixtape. That's for damn sure. 10. Oh, Justin Timberlake. Yes, of course I had posters of Justin Timberlake in my room. I had posters of NSYNC in my room. I was definitely team NSYNC over Backstreet Boys. Yes, I said that. Yeah, Justin Timberlake, but as an adult though now, I look back and I go, I really, really slept on JC. But realistically, at the time, I was more of a Chris Kirkpatrick kind of girl because I'm quirky like that. 11, Jared Leto. No opinion. No, he wasn't really a part of my teenage years. Number 12, Alec Baldwin. Who made the 13? Rockadoodle. Okay, now this is just embarrassing. Moving on. Edward Furlong at 14. No, because he looked like someone who would try to sell me drugs and get me in trouble. And I was a good girl. So no, for that reason only. 15 is Breckenmeyer. Oh, from Clueless. Oh, yeah. Sorry, love. You definitely not a heartthrob, but in my mind, we would have been best friends. I can't place him above Paul Rudd. So the fact that Paul Rudd's circa Clueless is not on this list is just beyond me. And 16, they have Edward the Tank. Thomas the Tank Engine? The Train. Oh my God. Bye list. Bye. No. You gave me cartoon characters instead of John Stamos and Paul Rudd. This list is Who made this? This is silly. So number one, oh gosh. All right. So if I'm looking at this list and I have to create a top 5. Okay. Well, number 1 is clearly Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, I feel like that's the only thing they really got right on this list. Number 2, John Stamos, even though he's not on the list. And 3 is going to be Paul Rudd. So, number 4, JTT, because why not? And 5, no. You know what? I'm going to say it. Number 5, Billy Zane from Titanic. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Cal Hockley. Bet you didn't see that coming. This list, I can't. This was... okay. I'm going to share some pictures on Instagram for you. Tell me what you think, if they were your 90s heartthrobs or not. Or share with me who didn't make the list. For example, like John Stamos and Paul Rudd. So anyway, friends, that is all I have got for you today. I hope that you feel like you're all caught up with what's going on in the world of entertainment. Hopefully next time we can move on from Ellen. Congratulations to everybody in music, notably Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, and Brandy. And I will keep you updated on what's going on with our bachelorette, whoever she may be. So until next time, this is the GSMC Entertainment Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask you to please remember to subscribe to the show and write a beautiful, glowing review. That really helps us out. Also, if you can please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, have a wonderful night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.